want us to consider a very important topic, and that is how to handle a difficult or a non-cooperating spouse. How do you handle a spouse that you may consider difficult? I want to touch on 5 main points that would help you to know or figure out how to handle such a person or such a spouse. The first point that I want to mention or highlight is empathy. The need for you to be empathetic and understanding when you're dealing with a spouse like that, a spouse that will not open up, a spouse that is going through his or her situation, a spouse that will not help you and support you when you need that support. What is empathy? Empathy is pretending as if you are in the shoes of the person and understanding where the person is coming from and understanding what they are dealing with or they're going through. Empathy would help you to communicate with your spouse in a way where he or she would open up and explain to you or let you know why they are not cooperating or they are proving difficult in the marriage. It could be that through communicating in an empathetic way, you would discover that maybe your spouse is going through certain situations based on their past experiences. It could be that they are going through their own mental health situations, emotional challenges, or it's just the nature or their nature. That is how they are. But once you figure out why they are acting the way they are acting, it's the first step of knowing how to solve the problem. In communicating with them too, it also helps you to offload or unload yourself, your own biases. It could be that you've prescribed or you've made certain assumptions based on what you see with your spouse. But by communicating with them, maybe you realize that you also need to work on yourself in some way. So empathy is key. The second point I want to mention is extending grace. Once you figure out what is going on in the life or in the life of your spouse, what you do is extending grace. Maybe through communication, you get to a point where you are helping the person take baby steps in opening up, in helping, in supporting, in teaming up with you and all of that. That is where I recommend that you extend grace. If a person takes baby steps and does little things, commending the person, praising the person, letting the person know they are doing well will go a long way in encouraging them and making them feel like they can do more. The third point I would like to mention also is that in case you realize that the person is not listening, you've spoken, you've discussed, but the person is not cooperating still, that is the time for you to seek help. You can talk to a counselor, somebody that the person is accountable to, that somebody the person listens to, so that you get the right help. The fourth point I want to mention is that when you're dealing with a spouse like that, who wouldn't show any interest in supporting you, maybe it's a good time for you to look at yourself and ask yourself, what can you do? What can you bring to the table? The only person you can control as far as what they can do or not do is yourself. So if your spouse or your husband and your wife is not cooperating, is not doing all that they have to do, maybe you can take some steps. Whatever they don't want to do, just start doing it. Bible even says that if you do the right things, even somebody who is married to an unbelieving spouse has the potential of coming to know Jesus because of the actions you put in. And the final point I want to mention is prayer. You know, we can do all of this without the help of the Almighty God. Prayer is the key. Prayer is our answer. If we call upon God, He would answer. In Jeremiah 32:27, Bible says, I'm the God of all flesh. Is there anything too difficult for me? If you're going through these situations, dealing with a difficult spouse, a spouse who is not cooperating, it is the time for you to lift up your voice and cry unto the Lord, and the God of heavens will respond speedily unto you. God bless you and thank you until I come your way again.